Hi, I just want to say a huge welcome to Q Sciences, but also our community. You have just made the most incredible decision to change not just your current circumstances, but create the most incredible future that's waiting ahead of you. And my name is Kelly Jones. I am a Silver Ambassador for Q Sciences, and I personally decided to partner with the company back in August of 2020. And since that time, I have had the most incredible experience. I am so honored to work alongside this company and also share the products because they are making such an impact on me personally and also my family. So, my role here with you is to give you everything you need in your tool belt to really start to grow in this business and build those solid foundations. And yes, we're going to cover a little bit of admin, but we need to do that to make sure we get paid. But I'm hoping as we work through this process, you will start to get very excited about what the potentials are for you. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen because it's a lot easier if we do this visually. And you may have already seen this document, okay, because it did come through on the original text message you would have received from the person that introduced you. So basically, it was just above the link that you would have had to get to me. What we want to do right now is just go through a tiny bit of admin. The first thing you need to look at is your ambassador ID number. Now, this is really important because you're going to need this in order to communicate with head office and also to jump into some Facebook groups, training groups, etc. So just make sure you have this written down. Now, you can access this in two places very easily. The first one is in your welcome email. Now, your welcome email would have come very quickly the day you joined, the day you signed up. So if you don't have that, please reach out now to the person that introduced you and they can chase head office for that and get that resent. But if you did get that, you can see your ID number there. And then in addition, you can see it in your back office, and the link to your back office was it also in that welcome email. Now, we need to know when your start date was. And I know that if you started 2 days ago, you are going to think, I'm going to remember that, right? No, you're not, because time goes very, very quickly. And we want to make sure that we know we are tracking your fast track periods, okay? Because we want to make sure that you benefit from that $500 bonus. And that's if you work your way through Builder, Pro, and Executive. And I'm going to talk about that in a little more detail very shortly. So just make sure you write that down. And you know what, if you don't have a printer for this launch document, please don't worry. Just write it down in a pad, just somewhere safe so you know you've got all of this information to hand until you start remembering where everything is. And then the last thing there on that top line is passwords. Now, for me personally, I have the same password everywhere because I have an awful memory. But if you do change your passwords up, please make sure that you have this in a safe place so that you don't forget it, because the last thing that you're going to want to do is to have somebody that wants to join your business or somebody that wants to buy some products with you and you can't access your back office. So please keep that somewhere safe. Now, Silver Leader, that could either be myself, so Kelly Jones would be written in there, or alternatively, it could be Luce Hawkins, who is actually our gold ambassador. So please reach out to the person that introduced you and they will tell you who that person should be written in there, okay? And that's your link to head office. Now, verification. This is extremely important because we need to make sure that you are who you say you are, okay? Because you're going to be earning an income and we just want to make sure that your ID and your proof of address is accurate. So you would have received an email, another one from head office, and that would have come within, I don't know, 24, 48 hours. If you haven't received that, don't worry, just go back to the person that introduced you and they can give you the information you need in order to send these details off. So what you need to provide is a photographic evidence of who you are. So that could be a passport, that could be a driving license, and also a proof of address. So that could be a utility bill. Okay, now let me explain to you, if your name is different on your photographic ID to the name that you decided to sign up to this business with, if they are different in any way, please give a full explanation on the email that you sent to Q Sciences with all of this information. What this will do, this will just save time. Okay, now, if you have any discrepancy and head office may need to ask you a couple of questions, that's absolutely fine. And they will email those questions to you. So please keep an eye on your emails, because if you don't spot that or don't see that, that could affect your payment. Okay. And we want to make sure that you do this within your first 7 days. So this is very important. Also, I just want to cover one more thing that's not in this top section, and that's your DocuSign. So that's in your first welcome email. You would have seen an option to to click 2 places, and make sure you do that. So the one that's relevant to you. If you're not too sure, again, reach out to the person that introduced you and make sure you sign that franchise agreement. It's very important, because without your ID confirmed and without your DocuSign being confirmed, you will not get paid, and that money will be held until that documentation is completed. Okay, so let's work our way down. Now, the tools that you have to grow your business is absolutely incredible. So the first thing is your back office. Just put a tick in that box if you've been able to access it and you've had a bit of a play around with it. Any questions on your back office, please reach out to your upline executive, and the person that introduced you will tell you exactly who they are. And you would have also had the opportunity through your back office to set up your own personal website. And this makes our life so much easier, because once you've done this, if you have somebody that wants to join you in the business or wants to purchase products with you, you send the same link and they choose which option that they want to progress with. So this is really important. Make sure you get that done. Okay. Now, the next thing which is available for you, which I think is an incredible tool, and that's the Q Connect Pro app. This link is in your welcome email, but it's right at the bottom. So if you didn't scroll all the way down, make sure you go back and check that out. And then sign up to that, because for your first 30 days, it's free. You don't have to pay a penny for that. And it's a great option for you to have, especially if you're quite busy, especially if you're doing this around your work, or even if you're doing it around kids like I am. It's just great to have access to your full business and the tools to do with products, etc., and videos, all in your phone or all on your iPad, whatever it is, whatever tool you use to grow your business. So just make sure you have that set up. And then the last thing that we need to make sure you have is QPay, because obviously if you've got all your documentation done and you're starting to bring people into the business, either as a customer or an ambassador, we want to make sure that we can pay you. And this is done through QPay. You would have received an email directly from Paylution. So if you haven't seen it, just type in Paylution into your search part of your emails, and that should show up, because it may go into your spam area. And that will give you the opportunity to set up that free account. Okay, now this is purely a deposit account from Qsciences to you. Once you've set this account up, it will also ask you in that process whether you want a debit card, a Visa debit card. My advice to you is yes, because at this stage, we purchase the products with Qsciences in American dollars, but we are also paid in American dollars, which means it makes so much more sense to purchase your own products using your QPay card. Okay, now you have 2 options once you've signed up there to transfer your pay, whatever amount, to your card, and the rest, or even you can do it in stages, that there's no kind of restriction, can go straight into your bank account. Okay, so just make sure you have everything there. If you don't, again, jump into the inbox of the person that introduced you, and they can make sure that that email is with you. So you have even more resources, okay, to help you grow and obtain the information that you need every single day to grow your business. So there's a couple of groups that you would have seen in that text message that you will now be in, and that will be the group that is allowing you the opportunity to connect with our community. So you will have training in there, you will see opportunity calls in there, you will see some other mentorship in there, you'll see personal development, strategic ways to work your social media, so much there for you to tap into. But we've also got Qsciences news group. And again, you would have already had the link. So I'm hoping you would be in there, but you do need your ambassador ID number in order to gain access. But why this is so important for you to be in here, because you need to take responsibility over your business, okay? And all the information that comes from head office is found here. It's not the responsibility of the person that brought you into this business or even their uplines to share this information with you. It's your responsibility to go and find this out for yourself. And they make it so easy. So every Monday, there's at 12 o'clock Mountain Time. So for us in the UK, that's 7 o'clock. So if you just work out the time difference from that, if you are elsewhere in Europe or anywhere else in the rest of the world. And that's where you will see our president of the company, Jake Spencer. Occasionally you will see Mark Wilson on that as well, which happens on the first Monday of every month. And you will get updates on so much there. And also look out for Friday lives in that same group, because that's where they generally share product releases, and they also share some incredible incentives. I've never seen a company that wants to give you money like Qsciences do. And then also winning your Thursday with Sarah Spencer. This I have learnt so much from by tapping into this every single week. It's done as a live, so it stays in there so you can tap into it and re-go back to it at any time. But if you want to build this business how you should with regards to solid foundations, that knowledge that you will gain from those Thursday lives are like nothing else you will experience. So please make sure you tap into that. So just make sure you are in that group. And if you haven't, again, go back to the person that introduced you. So I'm not going to talk about the financial freedom movement right now because it's not actually international. So if you are in the US, please reach out either to me directly or to Luce or the person that you signed up with, and they can talk you through that process with you. Okay, so here we go. Our team page. So as I said, you would have already had a link to jump into your team page. Now put the name of the page here, okay, because you're in lots of different groups at the moment, and we don't want this to mean that it's overwhelming for you, but in the same respect, you need to take responsibility to jump into these groups to make sure that you have everything you need in order to achieve, okay? So write in your team Facebook page for your group, and then also write down when your team trainings are. Now, what you will find in either group, in the announcement sections, you will find information there about opportunity calls, you will find information about trainings. So check that out. And my advice to you is to check into your team Facebook page every single day, maybe morning and maybe again in the evening, just to make sure you haven't missed anything. Because also what we put in there, we also share incentives, not just from the company, but incentives from us personally in order to help you grow your business. Okay, so make sure you have that, and please be responsible and jump onto trainings, because you will learn so much and we will share so much information from our own experiences, but also we will be bringing guests in as well to help you grow. Now, let's get really excited now. So this is where this really makes me smile, because we talk about our why. Now, if you have been in this industry before, you will know that you've been asked to connect with your why. Some of you may have done, some of you may not. But if this is a brand new experience for you, sitting there and thinking, what do I want, can be quite tough, right? Sometimes we don't always look deep enough in. And what I want you to do is just spend some time and really think about why you joined Qsciences. So it could have been the person. Maybe you had a great connection with somebody and you wanted to work with them, and that's great, that's amazing. But I'm going to be real with you. That alone is not going to get you to grow this business. Okay, what we need you to do is really dig deep, spend some time, don't rush this, but spend some time over the next 24 hours maybe, and sit there with a pen and paper and start to write things down about what you want to achieve. And then you know when you've got to that big why, because if you then ask yourself, how would I feel if I didn't achieve that? If you feel awful at that stage, that is the why you need to write in here, because that is the why that you are going to tap into when this business gets difficult. And I'm going to promise you, it's going to get difficult. It's not going to be plain sailing. You're going to have so many ups, but you've got to understand this is a business. So it means you're also going to have so many downtimes and so many learning experiences. But do you know what? That roller coaster means as long as you stay on it, it means that you are learning and you are growing and you are developing your skills in order to see full success within your business. So as I said to you before, we want to make sure that you get your fast track bonus. So what's the stage one of this? Now, first one is points. We need to make sure that you have points in the right areas. Now, obviously, I'm assuming that you have already ordered your products. If you haven't, please go and do this, because this is important for two reasons. Number one, you're investing in your business, and we need to make sure that we have 100 points going through our business every single month. Okay, so that is the equivalent of the products that you should be on yourself. Now, for me, I use the Q Core because that's really important to me. I have so much more go through my business because I have a huge family, but that alone, the Q Core kind of ticks that box of me being 100 point qualified. So please go ahead and all your products, because what's important is that you also start growing your own health journey. Because if you are not using the products, how are you going to share those with others? We do not sell. We recommend from our experiences and those around us as well. And you will hear so many incredible stories that will be shared with you over time, that you'll realize that you have the opportunity with these products and with this business to really make an impact on so many lives. So please make sure you've done that. If you haven't, when you jump off this call, go and order your products, and hopefully they should be with you in 7 to 10 working days. And therefore you can start taking them yourself, start touching them, start feeling them, start tasting them, and start feeling the impacts, which will then you can pass on to your friends and your family. So that's stage one. And the second stage is that we need 300 points going through your business. So this can be done with two people, right? So simple. So that's just one person having 120 points going through theirs, because not everybody just has 100. I know I don't. And the other person has 180. So 100 is normally if you've got one person using the products, but if you've got a couple, they normally fall within that realm there. And those two together will get you to Builder, which means that you will end up walking away with $100 bonus and also a $50 team commission, which is incredible for your first bonus. Because if you think about it, that pretty much covers your starting fee and also your product. So which is great. Now, the way we do this, we set up with you a Fab 5 call. Okay, and I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit further down, because that's going to be your step one of action after coming off this call. But before I do that, I want to talk to you about the overall process that we use. Now, this system really does work. And let me explain to you how. Now, we do not do cold calling. It's yucky, it's horrible. Nobody wants to get a copy and paste messages into their inbox. So what we do, we are very much about building relationships. Okay, now this is key. Now, if you are using social media to build your business, there are so many training videos that are in our team pages. Go and take a look. But the piece of advice that I can give you is that do not sell on your profile. You don't need to do any selling. Okay, what you're going to do, you're going to share who you are, you're going to share your life, you're going to share your wants, you're going to share your dreams, and share your days, and show people who you are. That's what you're going to use your profile for. We don't need to be setting up any Facebook groups or any Facebook business pages. They are not relevant and they do not work in this business. Okay, we need to just use our profiles, whether that be on Facebook, whether that be on Instagram. And you've got so much information depending upon what platform you decide to use. Now, for me personally, it's Facebook. So what I would suggest you do is have a scroll through your Facebook right now and have a look at it and thinking, right, number one, am I positive? Number two, would I want to work with me based on the person that I'm portraying right now? If not, you might want to kind of delete maybe a few posts, or maybe really start thinking about changing the way that you word things so you've got more of a positive spin on it. So how we do that, we start sharing who we are. And that means we start attracting incredible people to us that are like us, right? Because that's the whole idea of this. We want to work with people that are like us, that we enjoy being around. So this is where this process kicks in. So through your network media, you would have actually started building connections with people, and you're already going to know some people, which we're going to tap into in a second. But what we want to make sure we do is that we pique interest. Okay. We do not want to jump into somebody's inbox and say, come and join my business, you're going to make so much money. We do not want to do that. Again, it's icky. What we want to do is make sure that we are very, that we actually only give a small piece of the pie. Okay. We don't want to give it all. We don't want to verbally vomit over everybody. So what we do, we share just a little bit. Okay. Now let me give you a very quick example of how I do that. Me personally, I use voice notes. Voice notes are key because voice notes allow you to show your enthusiasm and excitement. And when you're enthusiastic and excited, and a little tip here, walk around while you're sending voice notes, because there's a lot more animation and it comes through in your voice. And also smile when you're talking on voice notes. Don't be scared of them. Smile, because that comes through as well. And let me tell you, not many people hear all of the words when you're so excited about something. They just get that feeling, oh my God, what are they doing? Like, what is she doing? What is he doing? I need to know more about this, because I need to know what's done this to him or her. So this is how I personally share. Okay, I will just drop a voice note to a friend of mine and say, hey, I need to talk to you about something. But how are you? More importantly, how are things? How are things going with you? Okay, how simple is that? Just to check in with somebody, but you've dropped that little nugget there that you want to share something with them. Okay, now how I then take it from there, because people are really nosy, right? They're not going to tell you how life is for them. They're just going to know what it is that you've got. And again, a voice note, but we need to make sure we keep this very, very simple, under 1 minute. Okay, again, don't be talking too much. So 1 minute voice note back and say, brilliant, I'm so glad that you want to know more. I knew you would. I have just got myself involved with something that I have no idea where it's going to go, but do you know what? I'm so excited about it. I've met the most incredible people, and I want you to come and take a look at this. I love you so much, and I know that you trust my judgment, and I really feel that this would fit you as well. But even if it doesn't, I still want you to come and have a look, so you get all the information that you need in order to make that decision. That's it. That is it. Okay. So then they're going to come back to you and say, tell me more. Okay. And now this is where you stop talking. Okay. And I'm saying this from a place of love, but please stop talking. This is where you are honest and vulnerable, because the thing that I love about this, and I'm going to tell you loads of things that I love about this business, but what I love about the first few stages of your rank promotions is that you don't actually have to know anything in order to make money. And that's not heard of, right? Because we know stuff, we know this already. So we then help you. So we set these tools in motion, and one of them is an opportunity call. Now we run them live, and again, you can find the dates and times of those in your team page, and sometimes in your chats you will see ad hoc ones popping up now and again. But what that tool is there for is to share what we do and how we do it. Okay, now what you would do is say to them, look, do you know what? I am so new. I don't even know what I'm doing right now, but I've got my mentor that's really helping and supporting me. So I've got a Zoom call that's being run tonight. If it is tonight at 8 o'clock, please come and jump on this. If they can't, that's fine, because we've got another tool available to you, because we've recorded that. And those recordings, again, you will find in your team page. And if you can't find them, just reach out to your upline executive and they can point you in the right direction. But then you send that video, or they jump onto the live Zoom call. And both of those are extremely powerful. Okay, so once they've watched that or tapped into that live, you jump back into their inbox and you're still full of excitement. And it's like, look, what did you like about that? What did you love? I'm hoping you saw what I did. And they're going to have questions. Okay. And this is where it can be a bit scary, because if somebody starts throwing questions at you and you don't know the answers, because why would you? You're so new. You're not supposed to know the answers. That's why we are here again. But it means that you don't have to sit there and worry, and more importantly, provide information that's incorrect because you're worried about not being able to give them any information. So this is when you are honest and vulnerable again. I don't actually know. So what I'm going to do, because I want you to have everything like I did, all of that information, I had somebody that jumped in and answered the questions that I had, and it made it so much easier for me to make this decision. So I'm going to get my mentor, and your sponsor will give you the name of that person that you can use, and you would set up a three-way chat. Okay, so you would set up a three-way conversation with you, your prospect, and that person that is going to validate everything that you've said about the business already, if you have, but also what's in that opportunity call, and they can take it a step further. Okay, and they can answer all the questions. Now, your role is to introduce in that message. Please make sure you do this, because it's not okay just to say, hi, Sarah, this is Kelly. Hi, Kelly, this is Sarah. It's not enough. What we need to know is a little bit about that person. Hi, this is Sarah. Sarah's a single mom. She's at home with 2 children, and she so wants to build an income into her family to give her family so many more choices. Hey, Sarah, this is Kelly. Kelly is one of my mentors in the business, and she's been able to help me so much so far. I really think the two of you will get on, and Kelly's here to help us answer the questions that you have. Okay, see how simple that is. Then, what our position is and what our role is at that stage is to answer all those questions and get it to a close for you. Okay, and if it's a yes or a no, either one of them is a great answer, because yes means we can get them started now, no means not right now, and they will follow your journey and follow your story anyway, and they may jump in later down the line. But do you see how you got to that stage with not knowing anything yourself? And if you follow this system over and over again and keep maintaining that system and that process, you will soon discover that if you are quiet in those chats but listen and watch, you will start building knowledge that you will then be able to start using yourself in order to help your team as you start building. Okay, because eventually you will be that third person, and you will be the person brought in to answer questions, because then you know the answers. Okay, so please understand this system, that it does work, and it's not about that we don't think you are capable. It's because we don't want you to feel, number one, overwhelmed, and we want people to understand that this process starts not just the day you sign, it starts from the moment of invite. And we want to make sure that people, even with the most busiest lives, or that fear of having to know everything before they get started, isn't necessary here with us, because we hold your hand and we take you through that system. So it's not necessary. Okay, so let's move on. If I can actually get that moving again, here we go. So accountability and goals. Now, this is important because we need to make sure that we understand, you understand, right, that life moves very, very quickly, and we can set ourselves a goal, and then sometimes time just disappears, and then all of a sudden we are, wow, where did that month go? You need to make sure that you set up an accountability partner. Now, that could be the person that introduced you to the business. Now, if that person is also very new, it may be an upline executive that will be that accountability partner with you. And they will set these times with you in order for you to have that regular interaction with them, and they can keep you accountable. Okay. Now, I want to share with you, being accountable and being pressured are two very different things. You will never receive any pressure from us in any part of growing your business. That is your responsibility. It's your business. Of course, we want you to do so well here. That's why you joined us, and that's why we want you here with us. But in the same respect, we know life happens, and we know that sometimes goals need to be changed, but communication with your upline is essential so that everybody knows where they are. Okay, so as we work down, I want you to really have a think about your goals. Okay, so for me, I always set weekly goals, and that's personal and for my team. And then as we work along, we always set 30-day goals, and then 60 and 90-day goals. So this is something that you can set with your upline executive or elite. Okay, now when you jump off this call, what I would love for you to do, there's going to be a couple of things you're going to need to do. So make sure you write this down. One of the things is to jump into the inbox of the person who introduced you for the name of your upline executive or elite. They will know which one to tell you. And that person is the person that's going to set up a goal setting conversation with you. Now, that may be done on a Zoom call. It may be done in Messenger. You guys decide what works for you, but please make sure you do this, okay? Because it's so, so important. And what I want you to think about, look at these promotions here. So I've spoken to you about Builder Pro and Executive, right? And I want to show you what executive to silver looks like. And as I said earlier on, I have managed to hit silver rank, and you can see that those incomes increase. Yeah. So if you were to have a monthly income of $250 a month with that bonus, how many hours a week are you prepared to commit to get that? Now, if you fast forward to where I am, and there are so many more promotional ranks after this, but if you go to where I am currently, $4,000 per month, and then you've accrued all of those bonuses that are along the bottom with all of those positions there, how many hours per week would you be prepared to commit to getting that? Now, I'm going to be real with you. If you say that I can commit 5 minutes a day, you are not going to get to silver. Okay, if you are realistic in your goals, and nobody's, again, it's not about pressurizing you, it's about you being realistic, that if you want to earn an incredible income, you've got to take incredible action. Okay, one does not come without the other. So it's extremely important that you are real and honest with yourself. And not be disappointed either, because maybe you want to get to elite, and $750 a month is going to make a massive increase to what you can do, and that's okay. So make sure that you have this conversation and get these in place, and get these in place within the next 24 to 48 hours. Okay. So we also run training events and corporate events, and you will be told this information in your team page. Okay, so go and have a look at that, reach out to your upline exec, and they can fill you in with anything that's up and coming right now. Okay, so this is where it gets really exciting, because this is where we start growing your business now. Okay, so when you join this business, I know for a fact you did, and you went through this process, that you thought of people thinking, do you know what, I would love to work with these people. I would love to have the opportunity of doing this with them because they're my best friends, or I really want to help them, or they just make me feel really good. I want you to think of 10 of those people right now, and I want you to write those names down, and I do not want you to attach any assumptions. Now, this could be your best friends, but again, I've been in this business, in this field for over 6 years now, and I've learned that I don't know everything about everybody, even if I feel that they are my best friends, because we have so much personal going on inside, right? And we're also quite fearful of what other people feel. So we don't always share our goals with everybody. Sometimes they're quite personal. So I just want you to think about those people around you that you love, that you care about, that you want to change their life, and you love being around them. And I want you to write 10 names down. Then what I want you to do is set up a Fab 5 call with your upline elites or above. And what that looks like is a Zoom call. And you know, the opportunity call that you saw, whether you jumped on live with us or whether you saw a recording, we run one of those, but it's a lot more intimate. It's a lot more personal, because we have 5 people on that call. It will be your upline, it will be you, and your 5 friends and family. Okay. And the reason these are so powerful is because the person that's presenting, it will not be you, so don't worry. The person that's presenting that opportunity can make it so personal to the people that are on the screen with them. And it's more of a chat. And what we can do, we can really tailor it. So if we've got the majority of mums, we can share stories that are linked to the business and the products that work with mums. If it's people that you've got jumping on that have got traditional business, we will use stories of those in the team that have traditional businesses. They're running this business successfully alongside it, and we will share that. Okay. And what this is also a great opportunity for is for questions to be asked and answered immediately. Okay. So on our bigger opportunity calls, you don't get the opportunity to do that. But with this, you do. Okay. They can open up and they can ask any questions they want, and the person presenting can answer them for them. So hopefully by the end of that call, they're in a position to make a decision at that stage whether this is right or wrong for them. And we see an incredible ratio from these calls. If they come in and they're open, we definitely see most of the time at least 1 or 2 people joining in to the business, and lots of them are there to support becoming your first customers, which is really, really exciting. So that's your second thing. Okay. So number 1, set up a goal setting call with your upline elite and above. And second thing is to make sure you write it says Fab 5 here, but I want you to write 10 names down, and then you're going to invite all of them. And if we have to do 2 Fab 5 calls, if all 10 want to jump on, we will so do that. We will do that for you. And what that does, that gets us back to that original place of you having, here we go, let's go back to that quickly, is this section here of you having your first 2 people in. Now, this Fab 5 call needs to be set up and booked in to happen in the next 48 hours. Okay, momentum is important. The quicker you can get people into your business, the more excited you will remain, the more excited they will remain, and this process will happen with them too. So can you imagine that if you do this within the next 48 hours, you could have your first 2 or 3 people in, and then we do that with them in the next 48 hours, they could have their 2 or 3 people in. That could be you at pro and literally on a very good step to hitting executive. And that can happen in your first week. Your first week, guys, it happens. We've got people in this business that hit executive in their first week because they took action. So don't sit there worrying or thinking or overthinking or putting assumptions to people's names. Just write the list down and invite. Okay, there's going to be access to a video which you may have already seen, which is in this text message, that will tell you and explain to you how to invite people to look at this business in more detail. Okay, so please go ahead and check out those other videos that we've put onto that text message in order to help you. So book your Fab 5 calls in, as you can see here, and also build up to a bigger event. Okay, so what we will do at the end of those Fab 5 meetings, and if we can book 2 in your first week, that's going to be so powerful for you. We can lead up to a bigger event at the end of the week, which either be myself or Luce will run, that will be an opportunity for those in the entire business to invite people on. So that's what we will do. We will actually say to those people on your Fab 5 call and say, look, Sunday night, we've got a bigger Zoom. We've got a Zoom call. So do you know what would be great? Why don't you come back then and bring some friends with you and jump on that? Okay, so we give people the opportunity to grow very quickly with these systems in place. Now, the another thing I'm going to talk to you about is the reward system. Now, this I love because you get free products. Okay, now let me explain to you how that's done. That happens when you set up your auto ship. Now, your auto ship is something that allows you to run your own personal products through every single month. Okay, now what you get from that is that you get points. So every month your auto ship runs, and if you want a successful business, you need to be having an auto ship. Okay, and every time your auto ship runs, you get a percentage of the PV amounts. And that gets stocked up, and you can then spend that on free products, and we can share that as your own use, or you can share that with your friends and family and use as your sampling system. It's absolutely incredible. Okay, so please, if you haven't set up an auto ship, go and do this after you jump off this call. So that's job number 3. Okay, so now you've got 3 steps to do. And what you also get the opportunity to do is allowing your customers the same opportunity too, because your customers get reward points if they have an auto ship. And how great is it if you've got a customer that, say, for example, on the Q Core or using our full spectrum hemp, and they have that ordered every single month? You know where you are in your business. But also, guys, I just want to share with you that you know that you can change your auto ship at any time. Now, they run from the 1st to the 15th of every month. So it's the first few weeks of the month. You can change the products in them. You can change the date. You can change the payment that you're using. And it's so simply done in your back office. If you need some guidance with that, please reach out to the person that brought you into this, or you can go through that with your in your goal setting chat with your uplining elite. So you've got your first 10 people, right? Now what we're going to do, we're going to find your first 100 people. And you could be sitting here right now, 100 people? How on earth would I know 100 people? Let me tell you, yes, you do. But they may not be in your immediate circle right now, and that's okay. They will be, okay? We can grow into them. So I really want you to think about those people you used to go to school with, who, if you're involved with a church, those types of local communities, who do you walk past going to school and dropping the kids off? Who have you met at weddings? Like, just really think about your life experiences and all those people that you've come across. And you'll start to realize that every time you write a name and you write a name down, you will start thinking of other names that are linked to them. And before you know it, you will be at 50 without even thinking. And then as you keep going, you will blink and you will be at 100. I promise you. But just make sure you do this process. And I am going to be honest and say, I didn't do this when I first joined this, not this business, but my previous business. And for me, that was a huge mistake. When I joined Qsciences, I did do this. This was a process that I did immediately, and it works. It absolutely works. And don't worry if you haven't seen that person for 10 years. It's absolutely fine, because for some reason, the universe has a way of connecting us again. There's Facebook. There's so many ways to jump in with people. So just write these names down and fill this sheet in. So again, if you do not have a printer, that's okay. You can get yourself a small little pad and you can just start filling these out and just write names. But just get that 1 to 100 down so you know where you are with your numbers. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing now and put me back on so you can see me. There we go. So I just want to say thank you so much for listening to that entire call. Very important that you do all of those steps, okay? Now, if you're unsure, the reason we do this as a recording is that you can go back and listen again, okay? So please don't be afraid if you have to listen to this 2 or 3 times to make sure you have everything that you need. We are there to help you and to support you, but obviously the ultimate responsibility relies on you for your business, okay? But reach out for any questions that you have. There is no silly question. We are there to help and answer them all. So continue working your way through this text message. Go ahead and do those tasks that I've set, and I look forward to seeing your business just explode in the next few weeks, and I cannot wait to see you start earning those bonuses and to see you start growing through those rank promotions. So reach out whenever you need us. So good luck.